here. His family was here most of the time. He was always on the move, going to different cities for different reasons, usually for business. But after almost 10 years, the Cali cartel, everyone knows who the Cali cartel is? The opposite cartel operating in Colombia at the same time. They eventually became enemies because they were fighting for the same money. It's a lot more complicated than that. We're going to be getting into the details of the Cali cartel a little later. For now, Pablo was a member of the Medellin cartel, and the Cali cartel were Pablo's enemies. The Cali cartel came and placed a bomb right there at the entrance of the building. A gray Toyota SUV with 80 kilos of dynamite inside, and that was supposed to take the building down. But the Cali cartel was missing two things. They set the bomb at 6 a.m., the bomb explodes at 7. Pablo left the building at 6:30. He was not in the building, he passed by the bomb and left. Also, the building was bomb-proof, bulletproof, and earthquake-proof. When the bomb exploded, no one inside the building died. In the building, right after the bomb. So you see, it's pretty damaged, especially on this side. I was right there in front of the bomb, but still standing. And no one inside the building died, but his family was inside this building. Only his daughter, Manuela, that was close to a window, suffered the loss of audition. She was deaf one side, one of her ears. And this was temporary, but as you can imagine, this got him extremely angry. In retaliation, he started bombing all the places around the country that the Cali cartel was using as fronts to cover the illegal operation. To do the money laundering, the Cali cartel had lots of public places. It had stores, shops, a chain of pharmacies. The thing with all the public places is that the people working in these places were innocent, and the clients were also innocent, but the owners were the Cali cartel, and they were using them as fronts to cover the illegal operations. And that's how more than 90% of the victims of this war were innocent people in the wrong.
La casa donde pusieron la bomba, el cuartel, ¿recuerda? Sí, que su hija estaba herida.
Apartamento.
Completely missing. At the end of the tour, on the way back from the last location to Poblado, we're going to be passing by this place. I'm going to show you where it is. It's still there. My mother is still living in front of it. Every time we see CAI, Centro de Atención Inmediata, that's a police station. We're going to see tons of them. There are 3 right there. Also, every time we see Farmacia Drogas La Rebaja, that's the chain of pharmacies that Pablo was targeting. More, everyone in Colombia wants to bomb that building. Anyone guess why? ¿Tú eres colombiana?
Dominicana.
Ah, ok. ¿Sabes por qué todo el país le quisiera poner una bomba a ese edificio?
¿Multas?
Porque hay que dar la oficina de impuestos.
Sí.
That is where the tax office operates for the entire country. Muchísimas gracias. Nos hablamos. Hasta luego. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. They're still grateful. Maybe they received something from him, a house, or money, or a taxi. Maybe their families received something from him. Or they were just too scared to say no. At that time, if you say no to Pablo, he was going to kill you and do whatever he wanted to do. He already proved to the government that it was impossible catching him, but he knew there were lots of people throwing millions of dollars into killing him. The Cali cartel, the US government, Los Pepes, the Colombian government. A lot of people were throwing a lot of money into killing him, so it was just a matter of time. So he decides, I'm going to build my own safe place. He was already halfway in the construction of this when he told the government, I can go to prison, but we are going to do this under my conditions. First, we're going to stop extradition. Now they can't take him out of the country. Second, I'm going to build my place with my money where I want it, and the guards are not going to be police officers, are going to be people from my city, Envigado. Basically, the guards were going to be his friends. And the government is not invited, so I'm going to have perimeter 3 kilometers around the property with no police officers. And that's when the government told him, wait. 3 kilometers with no police? No, that's way too much. We can live 1 kilometer, but we need 2 police officers inside that. And then he told them, no problem. 1 kilometer of perimeter in this thick jungle should be more than enough. 2 police officers inside the perimeter, not inside the property. And also, these 2 guys are going to come without guns and without radios. The government had to agree. It was the only way to keep him in one place. He was not even locked here. He was going out of his prison every day, 2 times. First time, right after lunch, he was going to his personal praying spot. Small statue of Virgin Mary, this big, in that rainforest over there. It's only a couple hundred meters away from the prison, but that's still outside of the prison. The guy was going there for half an hour after lunch, coming back to the property after doing some prayers. He was usually staying here with 20 or 30 of his employees and lots of VIPs. Actors, actresses, singers, professional football players, entire football teams came here to stay for a couple of weeks. Everyone that was staying here with him, every afternoon, they were invited. No, they were not invited. They were forced to play a football match in the property right next to us. Let's go down here so I can show you the house. Aquí nunca existió una prisión. Esto es un centro de recreo para hacer fiestas. That house over there is where they were playing the football matches, but only for the first few months, because after that they started playing here. All these buildings that you see closer to us are built in the only flat piece of grass here, right? That, for the first 3 months, was a parking lot. This ramp here was the entrance to the parking lot. After that, they put a fence around it, and it became a football field. The place has to be simple, built as a real prison, not luxuries. So he presented this plan. A set of buildings surrounded by a big fence, divided into 3 areas. This small room, house for the security guards, behind these things over there. The main house, main headquarters or discotheque, I don't even know how to call it, that one. And then in the back, more rooms for his friends, for his employees. So when he presented the plan, the government told him, yeah, sure, you can do it like that. But remember, the place has to be simple, built as a real prison with no luxuries. 2 weeks before Pablo came, a group of guys went around the property taking pictures, confirming that the place was actually like that. And it was. So, this is the first picture of La Catedral, but in the 2 weeks before Pablo came, his employees turned it into this. This is supposed to be a prison cell. That's his room. And this is books, but that's money. This is the office. Pablo was still running his criminal empire from here. There was a communications cable going from that tower in the corner of the property to that other private property further down the mountain to make sure that both ends of the cable were in private properties, so no one can cut or intercept or even touch his communications. This is the dining room, not very luxurious, actually simple and cheap, but the important part of this is this small cross. I was living here with a priest, and now that priest lives in that house and operates that church. He's the only one that's still here. He hates that I know that. But I can recognize him from the pictures. Every time I try to talk to him about this, he's like, no, that was not me. I was not here at that time. And I was like, bro, I can see you in documentaries. So. This is the bar inside that discotheque. And for most of the people coming here, especially for the parties, this was the most important place. What Pablo was doing, he was taking salsa, Latino, merengue. The Latin American music bands are usually 10, 20, or 25 members. When they got here, he kidnapped them. He told them, you're going to stay here for a month. You're going to be performing every single day. You're not leaving for any reason. If you need drugs, alcohol, prostitutes, whatever you want, just ask for it. But don't ask for living. At the end, he paid them $3 or $5 million so they don't complain. They actually came back, of course. For those amounts of money, I'm not even living. You put me here with all my friends, that view, and then you pay me, I will never leave this place. I will still be here. So, let's go down here. We get the last part of the view. We are going to be discussing what? Pablo had more than 20% of all the $100 bills. Most of them were in Colombia. Most of them were buried. That's when the U.S. government noticed that the guy was making a big hole in the American economy. That's when they started putting a ton of money into killing him. But I think it was already late. The thing is, this money was buried for more than 10 years in one of the most humid environments in the planet, the cloud forest. The humidity was able to go inside the plastic bags. The money was rotten, falling to pieces. And you can't use it like that. And that's why we know about this one, because if you find 5 or 10 or $12 million here in Colombia, you don't want to be telling anyone, right? You can imagine what's going to happen. If you tell the government, you keep 1%. Legally, but only 1%. You tell Colombians, and you don't keep any. Because they're going to kill you and rob you. So now you know, you find a big blue canister full of money, let me know we leave Colombia tonight. I already have a plan. In my plan, we cross the border to Venezuela. That will be the easiest border to cross right now with that much illegal money. We keep going to the opposite side of that country, then we have a couple options. We can go French Guiana. I don't speak French. Anyone speak French? No. That's not good. Oh, don't worry. You're going to love the second option. I don't speak French, but that's not going to be a problem. With that much money, we can buy an island and speak English. The second option, we can go Suriname. I don't speak Dutch, but you do. Perfecto. We're going directly to Suriname. Let's go find money. Now, why and how Pablo escaped? Because Pablo was leaving his prison pretty much every day, 2 or 3 times. He was also going down into the city pretty much every week, a couple of times. But he was not able to go down into the city every day to control his business, to see everything with his own eyes. His associates and his employees, they took advantage. They started taking a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. Eventually, they were stealing $1 million a week. Pablo was making almost $1 million a day profit. So not the biggest hole in his income, but $1 million a week is a ton of money for anyone. It doesn't matter how rich you are, still a lot. When he noticed, he started calling his employees up here. He started killing some of them. When he started killing his own people, some of them turned against him and they became part of Los Pepes. Los perseguidos por Pablo Escobar. Basically the ones that Pablo Escobar is trying to kill, they formed a group and came to kill him. So he was part of the Cali cartel at the beginning, part of the Medellin cartel when he started killing his own people, unofficially supported by the US and the Colombian government. And again, we're going to be getting into the details of Los Pepes a little later. For now, Galeano and Moncada, members of the Medellin cartel, rich people from Medellin, they were becoming part of Los Pepes. The plan for them was to start working with the other guys, with the Cali cartel. So they stole $23 million that they were keeping for Pablo. And when Pablo noticed, he called them up here, and when they were here, he sent 2 of his employees into the city to their office to see if they could find the money. They destroyed the entire office all the way to the ground, and they found most of the money buried under the main desk. When they had it, they called Pablo on his private line, and they told him. When they confirmed that they have the money, Pablo throws these guys in the torture room. In the lower part of the property, there were 3 underground things. There was a bunker for Pablo to sleep, because Pablo was thinking that the government was going to bomb him in the night. There were 2 tunnels, and there was a torture room. And the torture was to throw the guys in there to freeze to death for 2 weeks. As you can see, you kind of feel, we are 1,000 meters higher than Medellin. Right now, we are 2,500 meters above sea level. We are the same altitude as Bogota. Have you been to Bogota? Yeah. Everyone? Have you not been to Bogota? Don't worry, you're not missing much. And if you can avoid it, do it. Bogota is shit. Bogota is not a friendly city for tourists, let's say. It's a city for business. But if you don't have business in Bogota, avoid it. The point is, it gets freezing cold up here, especially in the night. And that's why the torture was to throw the guys in there to freeze to death for 2 weeks. After that, he took them out. One of them was dead, and the other guy was about to die. So he killed the other guy by hitting him in the face with a gun. Not even shooting him. Right after that, his employees made a big pile of wood, and they burned the bodies. The thing is, if I can see the city can see me. And if I start burning stuff in the middle of the night in the parking lot, well, the entire city is going to see it. Everyone is going to ask, what is he doing up there? What is he trying to hide by burning stuff? What is he burning? So that's when the US government came to the Colombian government for a second time, putting pressure and asking, what are we going to do with this guy? He's completely out of control. He's killing people. He's doing parties. He's doing whatever he wants up there in his compound, which is not a prison. We have to... So we can't go all the way down to the field, but we can enter the place and we can look from the top. Welcome to El Dorado football field, in the middle of the El Dorado neighborhood, in the middle of my beautiful city, Envigado. I grew up in this city, my family comes from this neighborhood. I'm going to start with the beginning. I was not born in Medellin, I was born in a small town called La Unión, 2.5 hours away that direction. At that time, La Unión was not a municipality. Today it is, but at that time it was attached to another one called Rio Negro. Rio Negro is where the international airport of Medellin is, behind the mountains. When he was 3 years old, his family comes to the city looking for better opportunities. His father stayed in the farm. He was a farmer his entire life. His mother came with the rest of the family. They ended up living in this neighborhood. And we don't know exactly in which house because they were paying rent. So they were moving every year, every 2 years to different houses, but it was something like that, where each floor is one house, and each house is 4, 5, or 6 bedrooms for entire Colombian families. The guy was living in this neighborhood since he was a little kid. He knew everyone personally in this neighborhood. He was 17, almost 20 years old. He was already getting enough money to buy houses close to where he lived, gave all these houses to families that he knew that were paying rent. So let's say you have your typical traditional Colombian family, like, I don't know, 9 persons. The guy comes to you and gives you keys to one house. I have a place to stay, a place to live with your family. He also gives you the keys to 2 taxis. You have a way to make money. Basically solve your situation, at least for a while. But then he comes back to you after 1 month and tells you, now I need you to hide this guy in your house for 6 months. And you say, he just gave you a house. Even if you say no, he's going to kill you and do whatever he wants anyway. That's how he ended up with so much power. In areas like this, everyone was willing to help him. Still grateful or too scared to say no. A couple of years after that, he came about this piece of land, built the football field, gave it to the people. Then he went around Medellin doing the same. He ended up building almost 100 of these in the country. A couple of years after that, he closes this one with wood around it. I want to look inside. She was going to take something under the top right quarter of the football field over there. For 4 years, they were buried 4,000 handguns, revolvers. Came here, brought all the guns out, rebuilt the football field, and gave it back to the people. Then he went around Medellin, a few more places, picking up more guns. He ended up with 20,000 handguns. With all this, he went to the outskirts of Medellin, Cali, Bogota, to poor neighborhoods where all these poor teenagers Basically, kids were dreaming about getting rich working for him. So he went there in person with guns in his hands and gave all these guns to 11, 12, and 13-year-old kids. And he told them, now you work for me. You're going to help me to keep this area safe. Everything that happens here, you're going to let me know. That's how he ended up with eyes and ears everywhere in the... Or you buy one of these boxes and that's forever. Pablo knew about this and also knew there were lots of people throwing millions of dollars into killing him. He knew that it was coming, so he came to a private cemetery or a private piece of land. The black square over there is the last one of Pablo's properties. Follow me.
Bien, bien, mijo. Bien, bien.
Yeah, los gatos que llegaron por usted. See why all these police officers are here? They are here to get Pablo. Or you buy one of these boxes and that's forever. Pablo knew about this and also knew there were lots of people throwing millions of dollars into killing him. He knew that it was coming, so he came to a private cemetery or a private piece of land. The black square over there is the last one of Pablo's properties. Follow me.
Bien, bien, mijo. Bien, bien.
Yeah, los gatos que llegaron por usted. See why all these police officers are here? They are here to get Pablo.
That's like the best outcome possible. It promotes me about 3 times. And even that, I'm like, no, even trying to avoid the particular. I remember you done to me that you don't oh yeah, yeah, what is it, man? I don't care what I'm saying, it's absolutely fine. Yeah, right, it's
Por ahora aquí.
Tarde que viene el picateo. ¿Qué te gusta probar?
Sí. Pero todo el viaje.
Oscuro, ¿viste? Así.